Energize. 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 Energize.
So be it, fool. So be it. Savage. Savage.
Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. Every week, myself, Adam Ordall Quinnell, and my co-host...
Hey everyone, it's Al Hirt. What's going on?
Mr. Al Hirt and I. Well, what's going on? I'll tell you. Same thing that goes on around this time every fucking week. We're going to talk about an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. But before we get into that, how have you been, dude?
It's been going well. Just, handling this heat.
Oh, it's hot there, too.
A bunch of airflows. Yeah, it's just been a pretty rough summer. But, there's always the beach. Grocery stores are now really full. Malls are now really full. Like, the last third places, I guess.
The still existing, like the barely still existing mall.
Yeah, right.
Is a place you can go if you don't want to melt.
It's just it's just the reason why is because nobody wants to melt right now, and it's like, well, I'm gonna run my errands as slowly as I can.
Yeah.
So I can enjoy this AC.
Air conditioning in the car, and then air conditioning in the places. Movie theaters are another good place for air conditioning. Couple hours of AC.
I made some friends from work too, and I've known they've had AC, and we've just been like, all right, let's hang out. And I'm like, you obviously want to hang out at your place.
So you guys don't have any kind of air conditioning at all?
We have one little ditty unit, right next to the front freaking door.
Wow. Okay.
And it just chugs along. It does get cold, but it's like, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like this little tiny little AC unit that's heating up the entire, cooling down the entire living room.
Sure.
You're better off just getting blackout curtains or something,
We've been there. We for the first heat wave of this year, our air conditioner was not working, and it was a massive fucking ordeal, and it sucked.
That sucks.
And we eventually got like a little replacement air conditioner for the bedroom, and now that's not there anymore. But we do have we've had a brand new living room air conditioner that seems to be fine. None of that, of course, helps for the time when I'm recording the podcast and I need it to not have a fan on or whatever, so it gets hot. We'll take a break to render audio and cool off the studio. So last week we talked about an episode called The Enemy.
The Enemy, yes.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that because we already did. I just wanted to remind people. We don't usually say, hey, last week we talked about The Enemy. But this does kind of roughly, poorly, absolutely crazily segue into our first official segment of the week.
What does Al remember?
So Al, Mr. Al Hirt, tell me, what do you remember about Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 6, The Survivor?
Season 1, Episode 6.
Season 1, Episode 6, The Survivor.
Jeez. Huh.
Well, just absolutely.
There's a lot of distinct ones, but...
Yeah.
I keep on thinking about the gun one.
It's not the gun one. No, it's not the gun one. I'll give you a little hint.
Okay.
The Enterprise finds while patrolling the edge of the Romulan neutral zone, the USS Enterprise has changed course to assist a one-manned vessel, which has fallen victim to a meteor storm. Sensors indicate the occupant is still alive.
What? So then...
Hey, what if I proceeded
or something?
What if I proceeded to say the vessel is registered to Carter Winston, who has been missing for more than 5 years? Does that Does that jog any?
I keep thinking about the original series and the guy that like created warp speed.
Yeah, this isn't that though.
No,
this isn't that. This is yeah, that was badass. This is from the animated series though. So what if I said Captain Kirk and Spock and Dr. McCoy greet the long lost philanthropist in the transporter room, and by coincidence his fiance, Lieutenant Ann Norred, is serving aboard the Enterprise as part of the vessel's security personnel.
Yes, this was the wacky one where the alien like took on many different forms.
There you go. Then, that's like, all
the philanthropist, like the wife is what set me off.
Yeah,
I explicitly remember the alien being like, yeah, this philanthropist, got injured on this planet, and I took care of him, and then I intimately got to know him and his life, and then I really cared about him, and I just decided to be him. I'm sorry.
Right? Good job.
And it was just the fact his wife.
You remembered quite a bit once you got the wife connection, and I love the design of the alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were both saying how like easy this episode could have translated now because of the animated series, like
absolutely,
because they could just do some whatever wacky alien they can and morph it in and out of a human.
You don't have to spend. That's why they've got that guy on the bridge that's got 3 arms, because you ain't got to spend no money to make a 3-arm costume.
There's all these wacky characters too that we've never seen before.
Which they have Starfleet. Those 3-arm guys, they do end up appearing in Lower Decks as well as I believe Discovery. I think there's some live action ones. Strange New Worlds, which has been good actually. Strange New Worlds is really good. The next season is the last season, but it's still doing good. So yeah, they had the goofy looking shape shifting squid alien. And it did the classic, I turn into the person that would be the most beneficial for me to give the incorrect information to. It tried and trolled a real changeling shapeshifter trope, But
it's a solid episode.
I remember enjoying it a lot. I also loved the design for the guy, the design for Carter Winston.
Yeah,
he's got like the ascot or whatever, and like
just the porno stash.
Exactly. Yes, handlebar mustache. Butt chin, deeply divoted. Just a a 2 centimeter divot. And I just looking at the Memory Alpha, which is what I was reading from. We're not just a podcast where we read Memory Alpha, but. I will say that looking at this reminds me of how rad the title cards were for the animated series. That's just like the green planet. Yeah, dude. Good shit. Okay, so hey,
it was fun.
You did a good job, and what does Al remember about Acts 2 and 3 of the episode The Survivor from Star Trek, the animated series? Now,
yes,
there's also a Next Generation episode titled The Survivors that we just covered, but like 4 episodes ago or 5 episodes ago. Do you remember that?
The Survivors.
You remember the Survivors? I'm pretty sure that's the one where they have the crew travels to Rana 4, where a remote colony where just 2 of its 11,000 inhabitants have survived.
And like Data, it's the Data one, right? Where he tries to convince them to get off the planet.
Yeah, but then
they'll get like wiped out.
But it turns out they're already dead or whatever. And like
they're already dead.
Well, one of them's like a it's like a creation of the guy, because he wouldn't help. He was like a Q-like guy, and he wouldn't help them stop the invasion. And his wife went off and died in fighting the invasion forces. And so he was making like a ghost wife.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a nom de plume to call it The Survivors, because
Yeah,
really
that's
it's just the
right.
one survivor.
And then they just leave because Picard's like, this guy's so miserable anyways. Like, let's just leave him
He's
be.
like, what are we gonna do? We can't. Yeah, because he
Yeah.
killed and he did genocide. He didn't just kill the one. He didn't
that's
just kill the
right.
invaders. He killed their
He was so
entire race
angry.
across all of
Yeah.
the stars. Across all of the stars.
And the
He
Enterprise
did
is
us-
like, that's a genocide.
He did
sir."
he did a space holocaust because he got real mad, and really he could have just helped in the first place with the invasion, or shit, he could have just made it so all of those people were nice, you know,
That's
rather
true.
than
Get
melt
along.
them all or whatever, or make it so that they all, because he just made it so they didn't exist.
Right.
And it's like, if you
just
have
like,
that kind of
whoa.
power, how about you make it so they don't exist in a world where they can do, or where that kind of heinous shit happen. Anyway, that was a good What Does Al Remember. This week, getting into the meaty slurry of the episode here, we're talking about Star Trek's The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 8. This is The Price.
The price.
The Price. It was it originally aired on November 14th, 1989. It was written by Hannah Louise Shearer and directed by Robert Shearer, but I really needed to look at
Who
these
wrote
names.
this?
Hannah Louise Shearer.
Okay,
but
okay.
I really needed to look at the names because it was directed by Robert Shearer, and those sound like the same last name.
Yeah, right.
But her name is spelled with an A after the E. Her name is Hearer, and his name is She. Oh, yeah, it's totally different. There's no C in hers either. So anyway, their names are totally
Interesting.
different, and I guess I was really high when I was looking at this earlier, and I was
Maybe
like,
they-
they got the same name. Are they married? Is it a husband and wife couple? But their names are actually totally different. There's a completely different syllable. Like there's a hard K.
Weird.
Or no, there's a SCH. Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe there was just some different pronunciation on the set or something.
Oh, well,
to
I
avoid
mean,
confusion.
right. They probably, they're probably very confused at all
They're
times.
like, who's on this project?
So, like I said, this episode aired in November 1989. The Paramount Plus synopsis is Counselor Troi is swept off her feet. Ooh, a lot of that happens in the series. Oh, it's usually Troi too. Crusher's
or
just like
Riker.
Riker.
He looks at a tree with curves and is like, oh my gosh.
I feel like does
It's insane.
has anybody gone after Beverly Crusher yet? Has she had a
No,
romance?
dude.
See, that's what makes the
And
least
Picard
sense to
awkwardly
me.
says something. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're so pretty." And
Yeah,
then he's like, "Oh, but
he-
your husband." And
he
then they're both
probably-
really quiet.
He probably said you're a handsome woman. Knowing him, he probably
Yeah,
said some
right, something
creeped
like
up
that,
fucking
yeah.
bullshit. But the Paramount
Okay.
the Paramount Plus synopsis for this: Counselor Troi swept off her feet by a dashing delegate who uses unethical methods to conduct his business on board the
Oh.
USS Enterprise. Now,
It's like that could be anything.
it could certainly be anything. It's actually
Yikes.
this very specific episode, though, because let's just get into it. It's you mentioned it. Two very okay. We're recording 2 episodes today. Peek behind the curtain. You said 2 very okay episodes, and I kind of agree with that. And obviously, we'll talk about that more at the
There's
end.
definitely highs and lows here, folks.
Well, yeah.
I like how it starts though. It's very casual.
Well, it starts with the away team beaming into a green. You can tell some fucked up shit happened because the set that they're beaming into is very green, and like everything is.
That's episode 9.
Oh,
the
I'm
price
talking about
is
the
really
vengeance
good at
factor.
Troi.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Hold on. Yeah, I'm
This
such a
starts out
dummy.
with, Deanna Troi.
Oh, dude, of
She's,
course
like,
it
chilling
does.
In her, she's chilling in her quarters.
And she's all stressed out. So
yeah,
it,
she's tired and pissed off.
the
and
cold
it's
open-
actually- yeah, it's actually pretty funny though, because remember how my friend experiences this too nowadays, but she's kind of talking to the computer and being like, I want a chocolate sundae, and the computer's like, okay, I'll generate one, and she's like, no,
I want a real
I want
chocolate
an
sundae.
actual chocolate
She says
sundae,
real
like,
chocolate
with-
sundae.
Yeah, like with actual chocolate ice cream and actual this and actual that, and the computer's like, I'm afraid that's not part of your what is it called? It's like
program or whatever.
Nutrition program.
It's just like,
you
you
fucking disable
fucking
that, and I'm like, that fucking sucks.
dude.
Come on.
It's so stupid because like
They have like Ozempic, I'm sure by now.
Well,
like, what the
it's
fuck?
like, well, that's not even it's that its unit is programmed to provide sources of acceptable
It's so
nutritional
fucked up.
value. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
your
come
request
on,
does not
dog.
fall within. Also, her request, what she wants, the computer can't even fucking give her because she's
Yeah.
talking about like, I want real ice cream or whatever, and she's all stressed out. And then Picard is like, Troi, you've got to come down to the fucking
Wormhole.
you got to come on down to the observation deck. We're watching the worm. Everybody's there. Hey, everybody, say hi to Troi. It's like really like it's big. Like Picard is all happy and he's like. And she goes, I'm actually not really dressed for such a thing because she was unzipping her shit to like go to sleep or whatever and change into her relaxing clothes. And he's like, just put on any old thing. He did totally not getting the hint that was her way of trying to decline the invitation.
It just felt like a very real human moment of like, she goes, God forbid I should miss the opening of the wormhole. Like,
right?
wowee.
Oh, I get to see a big space anus to
It's like,
fucking
it's just-
who gives a fuck.
It's just another meeting, and it's another work meeting, and you're just like, all right, I gotta like save face and just get through this. You know, it was funny.
Yep, it does make sense though. So basically, what's going on is the Enterprise is facilitating a negotiation between this planet that basically discovered what they call a stable wormhole. We find out later might not be as stable as they say.
Yeah, it should have just been from the get-go. But anyways,
yeah, well, they didn't know because that's what they should have approached the whole thing with more caution. The fact that there even was negotiations before they sent the shuttles through, it's like I understand how valuable it is, but I would have looked at this. So this civilization is relatively primitive. But they found this wormhole. They sent a probe through. They say that the probe data says it's a stable wormhole, and
get through. Yep.
Yeah, and so there's this Federation guy named Mr. Mendoza. He's the Federation's negotiator. Let's go through the negotiators, right? There's a Federation negotiator, and then there's this guy. Let's see here. We've got Mendoza, and then we've got the worthy Federation competitor, Leor of the Caledonians. He's a tall guy.
Yes.
He's a tall guy with like a lot of facial like prosthesis. And then she meets Rawl, who represents. He's a hired gun. He's like a negotiator, and he was hired by. Who the fuck is he representing?
The
Chrysampedums. Anyway, Rawl is also
Chrysalians.
the Chrysalians. So Rawl is played by this guy Matt McCoy.
Has he been in like soap operas and
dude,
stuff?
I don't know about soap operas, but he played the character.
Yeah.
He played the character Lloyd Braun in Seinfeld. So he played this guy who is in some of the very classic episodes of Seinfeld, and it's just crazy seeing him romancing Troi like this. And when he met Troi, that like he's got a beautiful lady with him already, and then he like has like
wild.
piercing eye contact with Troi when they introduce themselves to each other.
Everybody's like just standing there sensing the tension, and they're like, I guess the wormhole's gonna open.
Hey, let's go watch the big space butthole. And sure enough, the wormhole flares open. There it is. Everybody's watching it. And she says, the lady from the civilization that found the wormhole, she says, the only stable wormhole to ever exist, and it's yours for the right price. And it's like, I just don't know if anybody can own a wormhole. I don't think you bought outer space. I don't think you own outer space, bro.
That's true. Outer space. I was like, maybe on the planet's like a geyser, you know? You sell that, but it's like you can't really use it, right?
I don't think you own outer space, bro. I don't know. Well, actually, you could.
Cool, what's it called? I always start this episode thinking it's a premise for Deep Space Nine because of the wormhole.
Oh, but it's not.
This is such a cool. I was like, this would be a cool setup for the show.
Well,
it's a big negotiation just for Picard to deal with. I don't know, but it's like the Enterprise does important shit like this all the time. So it's definitely like a sneak preview into like how they could flex, expand the universe and like flex his ideas.
And it really does. It's really like they're facilitating the Enterprise often like facilitates shit. Like we always talk about why are the reasons they're zipping around out there or whatever. And I think facilitating discussions between cultures is a big one. Oh, for sure. Yeah, by far. And so basically, they've got these negotiators in a room. And they're discussing, what they're going to do. But then what happens, Al? There's some uninvited negotiators show up, if I don't recall.
This is, of course, my favorite race of aliens and some of the best parts. What are they called?
Unreal. What are they called? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You don't know
Ferengi.
what Yeah, the Ferengi. Did it come up on the screen?
No.
You remembered?
I was just vaping.
No, that's okay. Ooh.
No, I really don't remember though. Sometimes.
Hey, like
so
Quark.
Goddamn races.
But the big ones with the ears that are problematic in certain ways, they
call immediately though, and they want to get bored or get beamed up immediately.
Yeah. They're like, hey, get us over there, and so they beam 3 Ferengi over, and this Ferengi is a real jackass.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, we're here to negotiate. Like, he's like, how could you offend us by not even offering us a seat at the table? And
so stupid.
Like, it's okay, like I didn't want to.
We didn't anticipate your interest
and stuff. Yeah, exactly. I didn't anticipate your interest or anything like that. And then the top Ferengi guy's like, all right, well, whatever's going on, like, we're going to need to sit down. And Picard's like, well, hello, I'm Captain Picard, captain of the Enterprise, and da-da-da-da-da. He's like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but, like, can you bring us some chairs?
Yeah, right? And there's a lot of bring us some chairs talk. Yeah, and then...
like, tell this Klingon to bring us chairs.
Tell your Klingon servant to bring us chairs. That's uncool. And then...
Worf's like, I'm part of security. And he's like, okay, great. Who brings the chairs?
Yeah, like fair. And I like how the Ferengi says... Funny. Fine, I'm willing to, okay, I'm not racist to think that you're a servant anymore. Right. I believe you're part of security, but then who would indeed bring the chairs? That's what I'm focused on. And Picard says it's only one representative per race or whatever, per civilization.
Like, you just have my fucking chair.
Yeah, and he goes, you can have my chair and we'll get your quarters squared away. And then we've got Rawl trying to talk his way into Troi's pants. And
it's very creepy.
This is what I don't like about this episode is the scenes with Troi and Devon Rawl or whatever his name is are really fucking weird, and they're like oddly sequenced with what's happening in the negotiations. There was a moment where I thought, wait, is he 2 guys or is he like in her mind or something? Is she laying in bed right now? And like, what's this guy's fucking deal? And he's basically like, hey, don't Counselor Troi me. He's really like forceful. He really basically says, oh, you're gonna want me. And
I felt like a lot of this was a self-insert, but then like you had told me, maybe it is still self-insert, like, a lot of cooks in the kitchen or something, and like people being like, no, he should do this or he should do that. And it's like, you get this weird Frankenstein hodgepodge of like, I guess what is flirting in the 90s.
Or I think that it's definitely really pointed, and it's interesting,
it's like,
but it's disgusting how like he just met her and he's like touching her hair and stuff, and he's like, and we know,
loose girl.
Yeah, what we know now is that he's using the fact that he's part Betazoid to fucking read her, and that, spoiler alert, but it's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's all fucked up.
It's all very fucked up.
Honestly, I think it's. Oh, sorry. I'll comment on it later.
No, lay it on me.
There's a scene there's a scene actually when she. About, like,
they talk about the ethics of it and all that.
Yeah.
Well, one scene that I liked is the scene where the negotiator and Picard and Riker and Data are all chatting about like the negotiations and the Ferengi, and the dude says Damon Goss's bluster, that's the Ferengi, is all bullshit. He doesn't have the resources to do it. The Barzans, and Riker's like Devdioni Rawl, he's the one that we got to be most worried about. I feel like he's the one. And they're like, Riker, why do you think that? Oh, it's definitely not because he's trying to have sex with my on again, off again girlfriend.
No,
but
he's just like, he seems the most comfortable at the table. And the negotiator was like, do you play poker?
Yeah, the negotiator's like,
so
Mr.
weird.
I love how the negotiator, Mr. Mendoza, is just like, Riker, you would, if I become incapacitated at any point, the story would be served by you taking over for me, basically setting that up.
They really laid on thick, and even Riker's like, poker has nothing to do with negotiations, and they're like, no, quite the contrary. You really have to read people and da 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 da. And Riker's like, no, I've really never negotiated or handled any like interplanetary discussions.
He's kind of understating.
It's a game of cards.
He's kind of understating his history of working with other cultures and people, though. Now, this is where an interesting.
It's still funny. But that's not my job.
He's like, I'm not the one who does
I play cards.
Yeah, this is like fun to do after work. I don't want the fate of the universe hinging on whether I'm calling somebody's bluff. Now, they bring up an interesting point. They say the Barzans, the people who discovered the wormhole, don't have interstellar travel.
So they don't really know if the probe.
And because they did an unmanned probe, so they don't really know what's on the other side. So Geordi and Data kind of go back and forth. They're going to end up going once things are stable.
Yeah,
and they're going to go to the other side. And the Ferengi are also going to end up sending people. We find out, and that's very funny. But so they basically think that the wormhole leads you to the Delta Quadrant. Far away. The Gamma Quadrant. They think it leads you to the Gamma Quadrant, and they end up in the Delta Quadrant at some point.
No, but they end up. What is it called? Oh yeah, Picard's like, man, that takes so long. It's like from where we are, it takes
100 years. 100 years at Warp 9. Cool. And I do like when they say Geordi's been keeping constant visual contact on the wormhole the whole time. That they've been here to see if it's stable. And so just the idea of him like looking out with his visor like out the window the whole time, like a cat like watching a bird. Very funny.
Or just like, I don't know, constantly doing all these projects on it and stuff, and everybody's like, I don't care, Geordi, I don't want to work right now. They're negotiating it anyways. And he's like, no, we gotta check it out, guys.
Yeah, and
like, okay.
And they
like, yeah, Geordi's already working on it.
they then cut to the Ferengi, who are talking about how they've made like a not lethal like poison
that's gas thing
that's like it's not intended to be lethal. It goes through their pores. He squirts it on his hand.
Yeah, it's so weird. And like, I guess he's gonna like give the negotiator a handshake and like
he's basically gonna give him the shits, I think.
Yeah, it was so bizarre.
Yeah, and so it's gonna look like an extreme allergic reaction, and then we get Raul and Troi in Troi's quarters. All dates happen in your quarters, which seems weird. I don't like that.
Dude, the holodeck's right there.
Well, and just the fact that it's like you have to go into like her private space. Dude is laying it on super thick. And he keeps talking to her in what I consider like a condescending way, but may have been like a dominant sexual thing, you know?
Yeah, and she obviously brings that up too later as well.
Am I moving too fast for you? He says, and she says, no, I'm moving too fast for me. And he says, hey, I like that better. Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Fuck?
Lloyd Braun ass motherfucker.
But I don't know. It's just this interesting like. They're both mature adults, but right now they're kind of acting like high schoolers. You know, it's kind of like that whole like, whoa, what's going on? And like the mystique of it all.
This guy kind of looks like a fucking dipshit. And the fact that she's like, I haven't been able to get you out of my mind all day. I mean, it's like, this guy?
Yeah, right.
This fucking guy? I don't know.
Like, so you had a really good day, I'm assuming.
And she's like, anticipation is fun. And it's like, dude, you're talking like people who've had like a long distance an annoying long distance relationship that you won't shut up with your friends about over text.
When you told me who the writer was, I didn't think one person would write all this, though.
Well, they do. There's other people involved.
Still, it's just like, come on. Yeah, this is
There's other people involved. There's a story editor and there's a showrunner. So while they're... while they're fooling around, having sex before dinner, this Mendoza guy is sweating, clearly has the shits. Like, you can tell he's carrying himself like somebody who's just going to blast shit.
He literally gets right to the
he walks to
Beverly
sick bay.
Crusher's door. Like,
Yeah.
right at the door, though, he's like, I don't feel great, and he just collapses. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty well timed.
And of course, the Ferengi who orchestrated this whole thing are then in Picard's office saying, hey, by sending people through the fucking wormhole, you're getting an unfair advantage, and now you don't even have a negotiator, and he's like, we're gonna share the information with you that we get. And they're like, how can we believe you? They end up saying they're gonna send their own shuttle, and they just bounce.
And and Riker's just like, why don't you just follow us and just take your own ship? And Ferengi's like, yeah, we will do that.
They didn't know about the negotiator being out yet, so now
they're pretending they don't know.
Now
they're the one that did it.
They find out now he's got the negotiator has that medical table over his tummy, like the Star Trek medical table that you put over, that's basically like an iPad that looks into your tummy and says what's wrong with you and what's making you sick. And fucking Picard and Riker almost racistly immediately figure it out that it's the Ferengi guy that are doing
Riker's
it.
like, with the Ferengi around, I don't trust anything. And it's like, come on, bro.
Dude, you don't have to do that, bud. You
Just
don't.
a weird phrasing.
You don't need to do that, bro. And my video's
they bring
weird.
up as they're walking in the hall. Picard's like, well, Mendoza's out. By the way, Mendoza was very impressed with your, people reading skills. So why don't you pick it up? And Riker's like, I really don't want to do this.
You're the negotiator now, man. Get
Picard's
to
like,
it.
why pussy out now when the game gets really interesting, And Riker's like, I have no idea what this game is. And he's like, doesn't that make it all that more exciting, though? And he's just like,
I'm worried that I'm going to cost the Federation the only stable wormhole.
It's just like, it feels like a very work office thing where the boss is just like, I don't have to do it. So
he's done a bunch of boss.
Your job.
Picard's done a bunch of boss stuff in this episode where he makes
really
Troi
good,
leave her
though.
quarters after she's like all tired and punched out, come back to watch the wormhole.
Him arguing with the Ferengi too is very like customer service handling thing.
So they Data tells Geordi. The beginning of Act 3 is Data and Geordi getting ready to zoom through the wormhole in a shuttle, right? And Geordi's like, oh man, if we get trapped out there for the rest of my life, I'm going to be stuck in here. And Data goes, well, but Data's like, well, yeah, but one good thing is you'd be stuck with me. And Geordi's just like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, just like the deadpan of like his face just being completely neutral.
I love all of
they just decide to go in.
The Ferengi pod rules. Like, those two guys are very funny. I like the Ferengi. So the great HD remastered sequence of the pods flying into the fucking shit, like of the pods flying into the thing, the wormhole,
they kind of like dissolve and like fray into the wormhole, and we hear their communication like filter and glitch out.
Yep.
Which is crazy because, the negotiators and all of them are watching the wormhole from the observation deck, but they're not going to see a ship fly in it. That's crazy.
Well, but they knew that there was a ship flying into it. Yeah.
Just now we got to the, what is it? I guess the senior staff, the conference room.
No, this is the negotiations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Raul is doing his thing. He's a slimy motherfucker. He's basically yeah, go for it.
It brings up the fact of like, oh well, the Ferengi and then the Federation are fighting over this, so it's like,
well,
oh no, he brings that up later.
Well, what he says is,
want to bring it up.
What he says is, I've worked for the Federation. He says, hey, I've worked for the Federation, and the Federation, they have a lot of enemies. The Ferengi also have a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't have a lot of enemies? Us, the Chrysalians. No one would claim that that the Chrysalians are the most powerful, but they've had peace for generations, and the Federation couldn't possibly say that. And this is where the editing, I don't like this. So it cuts from him. This is why this episode is, spoiler alert, going to get a low score for me, because it cuts to him rubbing. This is a Quentin Tarantino fucking.
It's very good.
It's Rawl rubbing Troy's foot with like an oil, like he's giving her a foot massage.
No, but it's like literally right after he destroys Riker too, because I was thinking,
Yeah!
damn, they definitely timed that,
Dude.
'Cause it was like Riker was saying, you know, by being neutral, you're just like not involved. You're free of consequences and this and that. And then Rawl was just like, yeah, but this and that.
We're also safe, motherfucker.
Yeah, we're also safe. And then, yeah, it just hard cuts to her foot. And then Rawl being like, maybe I should just delay these negotiations for a week longer.
So that we can suck and fuck.
Yeah, he's like, does that sound awesome?
Yeah, and then she starts talking. Then he's like, what about other men? And they have the Riker conversation that basically comes down to Will and I were good friends. And then she gets on top and she's rubbing his fucking chest, and then she's gonna oil his chest. This is disgusting, dude. I don't want to see Troi rubbing fucking Lloyd Braun from Seinfeld's fucking pecs, dude.
No, and I always, every time scenes like this happen, you know, especially in Star Trek, it's just like we're talking about different filters of people's idea of what intimacy is, right? It's like we have a boardroom groups of meetings perspective on it, then we have like this weird little like shy nerdy sci-fi perspective on it, then it's like, well, we don't want to like make Deanna Troi do super uncomfortable things, and then it's like, well, there's also little kids watching this too, so it's like, what do you tell your kids? Like, oh, don't mind her foot, you know? Like,
well, they just don't like, right? I mean, it is
like such a wild show, you know?
It's like bad. It's sexually bad. It's just like very cringe. That's all.
There's other ways, I think, to like show this without.
Oh, here we
being
go.
as explicit, I guess.
So the HD remaster of this really makes them look, the focus on them look, his eyes are just piercing. and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm part Betazoid too, a quarter Betazoid. And I was never as comfortable sensing his emotions as you seem to be. And that's why he left Earth, because Earth people got all kinds of emotions. And
but it's like he didn't even sense them as much as her.
And fuck this guy, dude. All he would have had to do is try a little bit. and he's like, at the negotiating table, it can be fatal to have a heart. And it's just like, I don't know, dude. You seem like you're just being a cheating asshole.
Dude, his arguments are awful, and then they get even worse at the dinner table scene too, which we'll get to later.
And then she lays down on his oily ass chest. Like, after all that, she's like, oh yeah, let me put my face on this chest oil. And then we get some great.
Yeah, but this whole thing, he's just like, by me being Betazoid and you too, it's like we're isolated, you know, like we're one of a kind,
he's trying to stick
together.
He's grooming her. He's trying to separate her from her community. It sucks. It's culty. But after that, we get a fantastic special effects sequence of Geordi and Data going through the wormhole.
Like, oh my god! And then we have this sci-fi happening, you know.
Sometimes the HD remaster is weird for stuff like this because it really looks like they're in a cardboard set bouncing around. Yeah. I love it. It's great, and they're flying through the wormhole. They come out the other side.
Ships look great.
Yep, and the Ferengi don't want to talk to them. It's great.
And Geordi's like, okay, let's go look around, like be careful with the wormhole and this and that, just general like advice. And the Ferengi's like, fuck you,
get the fuck out of here, fuck off, fuck you.
Yeah, he's like, we're not partners at all.
And so both Data and Geordi have problems. Data says we're in the Delta Quadrant, not the Gamma Quadrant like they're supposed to be. And then Geordi, looking at the wormhole with his visor, is like, ruh-roh. Shit seems fucked up. Like there's something going on with the wormhole. Might not be as stable as they said. My
like
visors
are colliding or something, or like gases are forming around it. I don't know.
He says, Data, my visor's picking up subatomic fluctuations.
That's what it is.
Meson and lepton activities is definitely increasing. Gravitational acceleration is also increasing.
And it's like not even 2 minutes ago we saw Deanna Troi's feet on the screen.
Yeah, like 3 minutes ago.
It's like this crazy.
3 minutes ago, Troi was oiling up a character actor's fucking chest.
Like, what?
And then, oh my God. So then here we go. An oft memed and mentioned scene where we got the two ladies, Crusher and Troi. They're discussing Troi being in a good mood. And I don't like how she's still smitten with this guy, even though he said he's part Betazoid, and that's clearly fucked up.
Well, yeah, she doesn't say that, but then she does address how fucked up it is, how it's like,
but
holy shit, like he's just some guy, and she's like, yeah, but it's fun and it's mysterious.
So it's Crusher and Troi just talking, having girl talk, basically.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this scene, Al? Like, what's unique about this little girl talk session that they're having here?
They're doing like hot yoga together.
They're doing yoga together and in very tight outfits and
like weird gymnastics outfits.
Like stretching. They're like doing a stretching where they've spread their legs together and like lean forward and lean back. And it's like, is that what calisthenics looks like in the future for ladies?
Right. And there's just a lot of like self-inserted ideas,
and there's mirrors,
of, like, people being like, oh, let's do this and let's do that. Yeah, and
there's mirrors so you can see their butts. Yeah, there's mirrors behind them so you can see their butts and stuff. I don't like it. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it. But it's fine. I get it.
Obviously, yeah, but it's also like, they had to take multiple takes of that.
It is very
organized. That
it is very sitcom coded though, because at the end of the episode, Troi goes, "Yeah, maybe I should just slow down and see what's really going on with this guy." And they both look at each other and just go, "Nah." And it's just like, what is this, a Nore Ephron film? And
it just feels strange because their conversation was great. Like that's what I was gonna address with you, Adam. Of like, well, obviously she knows that he's a big asshole.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, oh, I'm going to stay with him and I'm going to develop a relationship. But she's also like, this is kind of fun too. Like she says particularly what stood out to me was like, I'm not in control. I'm not Counselor Deanna Troi right now. Like I'm just some chick that this guy's dicking around with.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
Well, it's freeing
like,
for her, I'm sure.
Own,
I think it's
of course.
I think it's because it's very freeing for her having this responsibility to the entire ship. When she's with him, her responsibility is just to him and herself, So it's like
yeah, exactly.
And I also and
Crusher has a funny story too.
Oh my god, right? Everybody's got like a funny fucking something going on. Because now Act 4 starts in 10 forward.
Yeah, this kid's just been 10 forward, honestly.
Yep. And old Rawl is working his fucking charm. He's talking to the Caledonians, and he's like, I mean, he goes, yeah, it's kind of interesting that the Caledonians even want anything to do with the wormhole. And the guy's like, oh, why? You think we're that fucking neutral? And he's like, no. It's just going to be like a lot of administrative headache, right? Like a lot of paperwork. Right. He's like, it's probably a lot of paperwork running a wormhole. And, you've never really seemed like a very paperwork oriented. And the guy cuts him off. The Caledonian cuts him off and goes, hey, if I'm being totally honest, it does seem like a lot more fucking work than we anticipated, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, this Betazoid clown, this quarter Betazoid asshole, and the look on his face when he's like smiling and saying, yeah, I'm sure you have, Leor. It's probably pretty overwhelming. And then it's
just so easy to talk to people if you know what they're thinking.
Yeah, right? It's so like, easy to talk to people if you know exactly what they're feeling and thinking at any moment,
like, Come on. Yeah, of course it would be easy.
Even though it's like he's an empath, he's not a telepath.
Yeah,
but still,
so
you know what they're thinking. And then we cut to the boardroom again, where they're doing the negotiating, and the motherfucking Caledonian says, you know what? We're gonna bounce. We're out. Caledonia's out. And Riker being the poker player he is, jumps right in and says, hey, well, we'll take that precious mineral that you Caledonians have. We'll provide you with something with wormhole access, and we'll give that resource to the people who have the wormhole. And then Rawl is like, the Caledonian's like, actually, we've already got a deal with somebody else. And Rawl is like, yeah, so I already have their resources, and I'm gonna add that to the bid.
I think that's like the other 1-2 punch that shows that he has experience too, because it's like Riker did think of that, which is obviously like, oh, cool, okay, Riker kind of knows what he's doing.
He does.
Like, oh, well, we're all already
Well,
Raw already got that handled.
Not only that, but Rawl is the reason the Caledonian wanted to bow out in the first place. He planted that seed in his head, and Rawl is also seeding doubt about the Federation this whole time, because every chance he gets, he's like, "Yeah, I guess the Caledonians just didn't want to fuck with the Federation because they think they're pieces of shit or something." He's like, "I don't know. I guess they must think the Federation's like a bunch of big pieces of shit or something in order to not want to." So I don't know if you want shitty Federation running your wormhole or what have you.
Yeah, they seem like to always be on their toes and always backing out and always, being nervous. So he's really using these space battles to his advantage.
Riker's really got to sit with that. And there's like a long beat of him just like, I've been bested at this negotiation. And then what happens next, Al? We get to a very good exterior shot of the two shuttles on the other side of the wormhole.
Yeah. And Geordi is basically warning the Ferengi, like, hey, guys, the wormhole, it's changing. Like, something's going on. I'm telling you, we should probably leave as soon as we can.
Right?
Like, sooner than we think. And
the Ferengi says like, we're gonna see the wormhole again in 40 fucking seconds. That's when we're gonna go.
Worry about it. Yeah. And the Ferengi's even like, I will not confirm your speculation.
Don't even trip.
Like, that's not a speculation, sir. Like, this is it's acting strange. And they also mention obviously that like they didn't end up on the other side of the wormhole like where they thought they would.
Yeah, and the Ferengi say that's what they won't confirm.
Right. And Data's like, oh, no wonder. That's why they didn't get the probe back. And Geordi just finally says, all right, that's it. Like, we're going to go. Like, we're 70,000 light years away. I'm not going to risk this. I'm not sure why I'd lie to you. Like,
you guys are fucking fucked.
Yeah, come on. We're going to go. And then there's just no answer, and Geordi's just like, all right, god damn it.
So like, Geordi and Data fly back through the wormhole.
Yeah.
And then there's a fantastic scene of the two Ferengi like, there's the wormhole appears, and they're like, right on schedule. And then the wormhole just fucking flies away from them. And the look on their faces, that's the last time we see those two Ferengi. I really think they should have brought them back for a stinger, like before the credits or something, like them like on a different planet, like where they don't speak the language because they're in a different.
That's a god awful fate, like it's terrifying.
Yeah, and because we're racist against Ferengis, we're supposed to just laugh it off. But no, you've really doomed them to a fate worse than death. Anyway, we then cut to Troi and Rawl.
Yeah,
post-coital dinner, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And she's basically confronting him with the "isn't this ethical?" I love his weird little fork. He's got like what the elite would call like a shrimp fork or something that he's eating. It's like future forks.
Yeah, and she's just like, "Isn't what you do kind of fucked up?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Deanna, it's not messed up. I'm just negotiating properties."
Yep.
And like, people don't get hurt.
You do the same shit, but it's like you're trying to do it for the purposes of a bunch of people's lives.
Yeah, he goes, are you going to tell the Romulan that you know when he's lying?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but
that's to protect
save our lives. Yeah.
That's to protect 1,000 people.
And the way he's just like, yeah, but you protect people, I deal with properties, and that way no one gets hurt. It's like, no, people definitely still get hurt in different ways, sir. Like, I get it. I really get it. But it's like, that's like just saying, I just sign contracts. Like, what I do isn't that bad.
Yeah, dude. He's a real scumbag. He's a real scumbag.
No, and then the contract being like the one thing where trust is required from both parties.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, well, what the hell? And I don't know. He's just complaining to Deanna Troi, being like, "Well, you're
calling her a hypocrite.
Of war." It's like, yeah, but I don't risk my life every fucking negotiation.
Yep.
Such an asshole.
Your protection, your captain, your crew, your edge. And this guy is really good at being a fucking unlikable shit that still gets to have sex with Deanna Troi for some reason. No,
but I also feel too, it's like, in his isolation, it's very well, I guess I'll say this is very well written, because a lot of men are like this, where it's like they think they're so special and that like they're above everybody, and that they kind of just have never heard no, or
Mm-hmm.
like people telling them like this is bad. Especially the way he just like discarded his date and said like, "Oh, I just sent her on."
That's
a shit
right.
bag so
There's
we can
his
hook up."
date. I forgot
It's
all
just
about
like,
that.
He's probably done this hundreds of times and like has never really told anybody that he
Yeah, he
reads
said
minds
he
or
said
an
he's
empath.
first person to ever tell him that he's
Exactly. So then like he's connecting with Deanna Troi thinking like, oh, we'll both be empaths together and yada yada yada. And Deanna's like, I have a job, like I have a life. Like,
Dude.
you're kind of a douche.
Dude, yeah, run away with me. You run away with me. You just accused me of fucking you just accused me of being an unethical piece of shit. And then Act 5
Yeah, it's perfect.
Act 5 starts with Rawl and Riker.
Yeah, then they really lay that message on thick, especially with this conversation
Yeah.
too. I think it's like, oh, go
No,
ahead.
just Rawl is basically trying to rile Riker up by saying, I'm prepared to reach an agreement with the Bavrani before the other people get back from the other end of the wormhole. Are you willing to take that risk? And this is where he tries to throw Riker off by being like, I'm going to get Troi. And that's where you blew it with Troi. And Riker goes, man, that's your big mistake. If you made Troi happy, I'd be stoked about that.
Yeah, and it's honestly like this is the true difference I've always like imagined between a mature person and then like an immature like boy.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
really make...
oh, isn't that gonna make you jealous? And it's like, hey man, if you make her, and he even lays it on thicker too. He goes, if you make her happy, that would be amazing, because by including her in your life, she will give you more significance than you have ever experienced.
Yeah, he's a real digs.
Like-
He's got roast his ass.
Yeah,
He fucking
and it's just like, yeah, it's pretty
got
good.
his ass, dude.
It's like you'll have more responsibility and more like, responsibilities, and you'll be a better person. So you should probably take.
You
that
should probably
seriously,
or keep her fucking name out of your mouth, motherfucker.
Right. It's just like another way of being like, I guess, killing him with kindness, but also being like, he's telling him he's worthless without outright saying it. you
Yep.
know?
And then the negotiations heat up because the Ferengi shoot a torpedo at the wormhole that Worf and Picard have to shoot down. And then Riker comes out of the negotiating room, and then Rawl offers the Ferengi wormhole. Rawl comes in to the bridge, and he's like, "Hey,
He, comes to the
I
rescue.
can help with this." And he's like, "Ferengi, if you back off, I'll give you wormhole access." And this is when Troi has had enough. Troi says, "You know what? This motherfucker has inside
the Ferengi
knowledge."
says, okay. No, the Ferengi says okay. The missiles are turned off. And everyone's like, oh, okay, that was pretty nice. That's how it worked out. And Deanna Troy's like, oh, you didn't even seem that nervous, Rawl.
Hold on. All right, come on back. So yeah, basically she says, "Hey, Rawl, you weren't nervous about this negotiation with the Ferengi. You knew what was
she's
going to
like-
fucking happen."
Almost as if you knew.
Yep.
And like he goes, Rawl kind of responds like, well, I mean, who are you to say? Because you're kind of standing from a weird point of like a ethical moral, like being, talking about how, what is it? She's, hooking up with him.
Yeah. And he's like, "You know what? This incident was staged by Rawl and Goss to make you choose them in favor of the Chrysalians."
Which I feel like he didn't need to do, but
He'd already
whatever.
won.
Maybe the Ferengi just wanted. Yeah, it's like maybe the Ferengi wanted to get involved, and that's why. So.
He just had to push it over the top, and this is when when Geordi and so basically he's won. Rawl is won. He's got the oil rights. He's the Daniel Plainview. He's got the land rights of the wormhole, and then fucking Geordi and Data come back through, and they go,
immediately,
this side of the wormhole is stable, but the other side isn't, and this side is eventually going to fall apart too. And that's when Geordi says, "It's totally worthless, Captain. It's a dry well." And it's like, ooh, kind of harsh to say that in front of the Barzan lady who is kind of counting on this entire fucking thing for their society, for the safety of their whole world, because they don't have resources. That's why this was so important, right? We forgot to mention that, but the Barzan lady gave a really good speech where she's like, "Look, the reason this is important is we ain't got fucking shit, dude. We got fucking no fucking resources. There's nothing on our planet except air and food or whatever. Like, we got nothing to share. And she's like, this wormhole, this is our chance to fucking get in there and mix it up. And
and you know, it's the only thing they have offer of value. So then they'll be able to get more resources and grow as a society.
I appreciate that, but they really should have just said, okay, everybody just the Federation will administer it, but everybody pays a little bit or whatever, you know. Like, I would definitely go with dude, that fucking car horn. It's fine. I'm very hot. I'm absolutely sweating my fucking ass off. So,
well, no, I wanted to mention something else though with the with the whole wormhole stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was like really funny how they didn't really follow through and check before even the negotiations and stuff.
You should know that.
But it was funny right? And it was funny as soon as it got like messed up and, you know, shown that it was a dead end, everybody just immediately turned to Raw and was like, cool, hope you enjoy your wormhole,
go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, they all immediately drop it, and it's just like, you can have the wormhole, but then, like,
you know that Raw was just like, hey, you win some, you lose some, baby, it's not my money. And then he goes to Troi's quarters, and she's like, are the Chrysalians gonna be mad? And he's like, I've done good things for them, they'll be chill, they'll be cool.
He's like, I know how the punishments go. Like, I've done enough good things.
Yeah, I spent a lot of their money on fucking nothing, but you know, it's chill. It's chill.
Hadn't he like left Earth and went straight to them, or was he just always a negotiator?
He also negotiated for the Federation. He's done all kinds of negotiating. He's a hired gun.
Oh, that's right.
And Mendoza's just like shit in his fucking hospital bed somewhere right now, unconscious still.
Seriously, they're like, oh, we gotta take him back to the starbase.
So basically, this guy asks Troi to go with him again, and she's just like, no, dude.
Yeah, no.
And
like, it's again pretty immature.
She's like, I have a job because I hate him because he says, you could fix me, you could be my conscience, and it's like, motherfucker, she's got better things to do. She has her own agency and identity, you fucking asshole.
They nailed the trope, you know, of like that. The drifter, you know, the guy is just like going from place to place and is always just like, oh my gosh, you could fix me, or I could fix you. And it's always like every one of his relationships always has to start with like on unstable ground. Like, it's him ditching someone or him going somewhere. He was basically just a confidence man. Like, he was just a con man cast as a negotiator. And it's like, now they're gonna have to check all of his negotiations. Nah, that's all done. That's the contracts are done. Yeah, maybe it's all done. Yeah, right. Definitely, if it was now of days, for sure they would fucking do that shit. But so let's we've kind of been talking about what we thought during the episode, but just overall, what'd you think, buddy? I think no rating yet. I mean, I guess us talking about it. Yeah, I think just us talking about it, it does get stronger in the end. Like, the parts that we really didn't need was like the romancing and the dates and stuff. I think the wormhole thing was fun and all of that. I really like that side story. I don't have a problem with romancing and dates. Kind of like, for sure. I mean, I get it, but I just don't. I'm fine with the horniness, but here's the problem. Here's why this is going to end up with a low score from me. The horniness was horny, but not sexy. I thought I was when they cut to her foot, it's like, and I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. I'm not going to shame anybody, but just the idea that you can clearly tell that somebody involved in that scene was like a foot fetish person. It's very explicitly. Or someone was like, oh, we should have the entity this, and we should have and also, and it's like, what about these weird yoga clothes and all this stuff? And all the costumes, all of the Troi and her costumes, the fact that they're both wearing like matching pajamas in the scene where she says he's a hypocrite or whatever, like, it's very strange. And that's why it's such a shame too, because this episode could have been better because they did have like, I do kind of like, you know, the whole human overall like relatability story, but in space. Sure, you know, it's like all takes place on the ship. It all takes place on the ship. I love that. Exactly. I love it. And like, we have a lot of those like Office Space moments of like, oh, I have to go satisfy my boss, or you know, Picard being like, gosh, I have to like make sure everybody's okay and on the same page. Like, there's a lot of good humor in it. I just think the romance was just weird or a little off. And then it's like, well, did he trick her into falling in love with him? Like, sort of, not really. And I don't like how before he didn't tell her. I just don't like how Picard kind of takes her for granted.
And I know it's granted, but yeah. So let's just get. I'm sweating my fucking ass off. We're at an hour. Let's do the ratings. Out of how many wormholes? How many unstable wormholes? 1 to 5. What do you give this episode, Al?
Just probably right down the middle.
Ooh!
Probably just 2.5.
That's what I said. 2.5, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Not sexy.
It wasn't great. It wasn't awesome, but it wasn't like, holy shit, this one's really bad. I think at season 1 was like, wow, this is bad.
There was some very bad
like,
episodes.
I don't wanna watch this again. This one's probably the worst out of the season.
So far, I would agree. For me, at least with my scores, it definitely is 2.5. And it's because I don't need to see Deanna Troi oiling up Lloyd Braun's fucking chest from Seinfeld. Like, no thanks.
Yeah. I don't know. And it was just kind of like, we've already had this trope. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, we always have... what's his name? You know, in the original series, Kirk. We always have Kirk falling in love and doing all this romance shit. It's like maybe it's one for the ladies, right?
Well, yeah, which is
still kind of.
I'm fine with the romance stuff and making out and shit. It's okay. We don't have to agree on that. But I will say that it was gross. The foot rub was disgusting. Which brings us to our final segment of the week. So 2.5s all around brings us to our final segment of the week.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
What do you got for us this week, Al?
So I'd recommend this Apple TV show. Got a couple of Emmy nominations, I guess, apparently. But Widow's Bay. I
also recommended that weeks ago.
That show. Yeah, I know.
No, that's okay. I'm saying yes, definitely no. So how far into it are you?
So good. Oh, actually, I just finished the season.
Yeah, it's good, right? I love it.
I think it was more like, because I was talking about it with my fiance too, and she's really into horror movies, and we both are, and it like definitely nailed all the tropes and stuff. We definitely think though, I liked it, but it leaned more to comedy.
Of course, it is a comedy. It's written.
Yeah. So it's like
it's created by a comedian who's great.
Oh, which one?
I want to say. Oh, I don't want to get it wrong.
I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, so Widow's Bay. But I love that Matthew Rhys. But yeah, it is definitely a comedy.
Matthew Rhys, she's that is really
and they do have
Katie
Dippold. Yes. Katie Dippold is great. She's the one who, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's the lady who dressed up as Babadook at a Halloween party like 15 years ago.
Oh, no way.
And it was like she showed up and it was like more of like a wine and cheese Halloween party and nobody else was in costume. And there's a picture from it. If I'm not mistaken, that's either her or Megan Kester. I can't remember which. But yeah, she's great, and it's a lot of comedy writers.
Oh, she wrote for Mad TV, and she wrote for Parks.
Yeah, she's like a real ass comedy writer. It is a comedy. It's like a comedy version, like of Welcome to Derry, almost, which I thought stunk by comparison.
No, and I just love though with the show is like the realism of how like people would actually handle the situation, sort of, you know, like that's what makes the comedy
the civic unrest of a cursed town. You know, and it's just like how
and just like the pain of
he wants to turn it into a tourist destination, but it's fucking cursed and he knows it.
And he's like submitting police reports about like super
phenomenal supernatural things.
Supernatural.
But yeah, so that's a good recommendation. I agree with you, from the past and the present, of course. And I'm going to recommend Lanterns, the HBO Max series about the Green Lanterns. It's really fucking good, dude. Everybody was like, it's going to be like True Detective, but with Green Lanterns. And that's exactly what it is, but it's really good.
What the hell?
And Kyle Chandler's in it. He's really good. The dude from that movie, Pierre something or other, who was in that movie where he beat the shit out of a bunch of sheriffs, and one of them was Don Johnson. But anyway, yeah, so I recommend, you're recommending Widow's Bay. I'm recommending Lanterns. I loved it. It's great. Can't wait to see the second episode tomorrow. So you know when we recorded this, I guess. But that's it. So come on back next week. Do everything that's in the bumper. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Peace.
177. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordal Quinnell and Al Hirt.
The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.